Thank you for joining me on the Get What You Want podcast, where getting what you want isn't always what you think it is. My wish for you is that this show will create an awareness within yourself of what you really want and the possibility of getting it. Let's go create. My guest today is Sean Douglas. Sean is a U.S. Air Force veteran, TEDx speaker, master resilience implementer, and suicide awareness trainer. He's a business positioning strategist, international radio show host of Life Transformation Radio, and author. He's a suicide survivor who hit rock bottom. He believes that you were created for a purpose, and once you unlock your true potential, you will elevate your life, which is why he founded the Success Core. Sean works with entrepreneurs, speakers, and business owners to improve their positioning in the market, which increases profitability while decreasing their anxiety and stress so their business thrives. Welcome, Sean.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That bio, I feel like just doesn't really even cover it as far as like how I know you. I met you a couple years ago at New Media Summit. You were an icon of influence, and the thing that I remember the most about you was just that you were just so focused at killing it in everything. Like you had your family there, you were killing it with that. You made us feel so welcome as attendees that were there for the first time. And you were, I remember at the end there being like this little round table thing, and we sat around and you said, we had 3 minutes, each person had 3 minutes to talk. And you were like, I can give you the entire podcast marketing expert advice in 3 minutes. And I remember pushing record on my recorder, and you were just like, boom, 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 boom. And I couldn't even keep up with it. But it was just, as I've gone along this long course of getting my podcast up and going, I remember using and like having to pause and having to pause and having to pause because there was just so much information in that 3 minutes. And I feel like that's just kind of how you live life, like from my point of view, right? And so your TEDx talk was awesome. And I think our focus today, I would love for you to just go into why you're doing what you do and what has got you to this mindset, because I think mindset is so, so important. I mean, it's obviously everything.
Oh yeah. My deep why for what I do is, I was always taught that you need to leave things better than you found them. So when you walk into a room, you want to leave the room better than you found it. When you are working with somebody, you want to leave them better than you found them, whether it be a house that you live in, a car, whatever the item is, whatever the person is, whatever the place is, you always want to leave it better than you found it. And that's how you make your mark.
Yeah, you made your mark on me that way.
Yeah, I mean, you leave like I'm the one, I mean, of course, everything depends. But, I'm the one that sees a piece of trash and just pick it up, throw it away. Like, it's there. I'm not going to walk over it, right? Most people just step over it and keep on going. When you walk into like a bathroom at a restaurant and there's a paper towel on the floor, it's like hygiene, right? It's like, do I want to pick it up? Do I not want to pick it up? Like, I don't know. But if there's like water on the sink, I'll grab a couple of paper towels and wipe off some water off the sink, and kind of clean up a little bit, throw it away and walk out. It's just the personal standards. I can tell a lot by somebody by if they put their cart away in the cart return at Walmart. I can tell
right?
Exactly the type of person you are. It says a lot about somebody. It says a lot about their character. It says a lot about their integrity. It says a lot about their core values. And it says a lot about their work ethic. If you're not willing to put the cart back at Walmart, I believe that you're willing to cut corners in life.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
So how you do anything is how you do everything in life. If you're willing to cut corners in your relationship, what else are you willing to cut corners in?
Right. If you're not trustworthy in some aspect, then are you trustworthy in any aspect? It's hard to figure that out.
100%. Right. And the way that today is going, we see it play out in every aspect. The way we treat people, the way that we think, feel, and believe. How we do anything is how we do everything. And some people are like, well, no, I mean, that's just, I don't really care about that other stuff. But like when I really care about something, oh man, I'm 100% in. Well, what happens when you're with somebody in a relationship and you don't care about them anymore? Like, do you just not give 100% anymore?
Or at that
right?
moment. Right.
Or at that moment. Yep. When you need to give 100% and you're like, I just don't feel like it. And then you just cut the corners. And then that has a ripple effect. So just give 100% in everything you're doing. In everything you do. How you do anything is how you do everything.
I love that. I really do try to live by that too. And, you know, how we treat people when it's convenient to us is one thing, but how we can treat people when it's inconvenient to us to be kind, that's another thing.
It says a lot about your character.
Mm-hmm.
In each and every moment, we are defined by how we react in that moment.
Yes.
And from moment to moment, we are using our thoughts, feelings, belief, and using our better judgment to act accordingly.
Yeah. So have you always been like this, or
No.
I know you have a background, and I don't know how deep you want to go into it, but I think that it's super important for people to know that, like, even when they're like the lowest of their lows, that they can get to this place. So tell me as much as you want to tell me, like, tell us where this kind of came from.
Well, before it was all about me. You know, when I joined the military right after 9/11. I was working at Discount Tire in Port Huron, Michigan as a warehouse manager. And it was always about me. It's like, what can I do? You know, I was always wanting to help out, but I needed it to benefit me in some way. I wasn't just the serve your way to the top guy.
Mm-hmm.
I would only volunteer if it somehow benefited something that I could get from it. I would never do anything that was selfless. It always had to. I always had that whiff of mentality. What's in it for me? I always had that. Every relationship, I'm like, what can I get out of this relationship? Every job, what can I get out of this job? Yes, a paycheck, but what else can I get out of this job? People who I was friends with, like, what can they do for me? What can I do for them? What can they do for me? Scratch your back, scratch my back, you know, whatever. So I always looked in terms of like, I don't know, like a business, I guess. To me, everything was a transaction. Everything was a transaction, even in sales. Because as a warehouse manager, you know, like I'm, you know, unloading trucks and, you know, invoices and just doing a bunch of stuff. So if somebody was to sell me something and I said no, I felt like I sold them on the reasons of why I didn't want it. And they bought that because they were like, okay, he doesn't want it, so you go away. If I bought something, it was because I was sold on the reasons why I needed that one thing that I bought. And so we tell ourselves stories. You know, we emotionally eat, we emotionally buy, we we literally will get angry and do things, right? And then we sell ourselves the rules. It's their fault, and they did this to me, and it wasn't my fault. I didn't want to hurt, but they hurt me, so I'm going to hurt them back because I don't want to feel this pain. I'm going to deflect it to them, right? And we make these emotional decisions, these irrational, uncharacteristic reactions. But I always justified them. I always had a justification. I never had I don't know why I didn't do. No, there wasn't. I knew exactly why I did what I did. So I burnt a lot of people's bridges, you know, of friendship for me. A lot of relationships that I was in, you know, didn't last very long because I would only go as far as they were willing to go. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I did that. You know, I was protective, I guess. You know, I mean, I was abused as a kid, so maybe I just didn't want to emotionally commit to something or give too much and then not receive what I thought was, you know, it's like a bad marriage, right? Like you're always giving 100%. You're always giving 100%. You're cleaning, cooking, working, paying all the bills. Like you're doing everything. And then your spouse just sits there and does nothing. Like it's draining. It's emotionally draining. Right. Well, when you have a spouse that, you know, they're working and they're contributing, or they're going to school, or they're helping with the kids, or maybe you guys don't have kids. Maybe it's like, look, we're gonna split the bills 50-50 and we're going to do everything together. And like, you're a partnership. It's not as emotionally draining, and you can rely on each other. And I guess I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have a person to rely on, really. I mean, my mom worked 3 jobs, but every relationship, friendship, you know, female that I was with was was what's in it for me? What can I get from her or him or,
Mhm.
whoever, my boss, whatever. It wasn't until 2008 where I had, well, 2007 really, where I had a humbling experience where, I had my first company. It was an entertainment company, had a ton of money, had fast cars, nice house, couple roommates. We threw parties like every day, every weekend. And then St. Patrick's Day, 2007, my house burned down.
Wow.
My buddy's boat got burned to the ground. The house was collapsed. Everything was, the whole upstairs was completely burned, except for like part of my room, which was on the back of the house. The whole front of the house was gone. It was just, it was a humbling moment when you sit there and USAA gives you $1,000 and says, "Good luck."
Wow.
Like I'm sleeping in a hotel. Pretty much, I'm sleeping in a hotel because I have
Wow.
nowhere to go. All of my friends left. They don't want anything to do with me. This was like the lowest moment. I slept in my car for 2 days. I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't plan it far ahead. So I tried to call people and they were like, "Yeah, get out of here." I'm like, nah, because I burnt all those bridges. I treated them badly. So it
Wow.
was a humbling moment. And then, yeah, in 2008, I tried to take my life because it just got way worse and I was abusing alcohol. And it wasn't until 2009 where I got the therapy and got the help that I needed. And my mom gave me a book by Norman Vincent Peale called The Power of Positive Thinking.
Mm.
And so I started thinking positive and I started thinking the other way. I started going the opposite way. And I was more helpful and more cheerful and more grateful. And, I became a drill instructor for basic training. And I learned how to speak. I learned how to tell my story. I learned how to be a teacher, a trainer, a mentor, a coach. And then everything that I do now spiraled out of the 2009 to 2013 when I was a drill instructor, teaching, coaching, speaking, training. Everything about that just lit my soul on fire, and I've been doing it ever since.
I love it. I I remember you talking about what your like what's behind your leadership now? Like who do you feel that you need to be? I know that you want to leave those people better than you found them, but tell me a little bit more about what's behind that too.
It's ever changing. um from like I said, from moment to moment. I find the good in every moment. And I think that's what, when you walk into a room and you're like, what's good about this, what's great about this, and you find the great and then you stick to that.
Mm.
Every situation I go into, I have the reverse mentality of the whiffum in it, and it's how much value can I give. Like, how much value can I give? And I
Wow.
live by example. How much value can I give? Can I leave it better than I found it? And the value that I give, can it outweigh any value that I will receive? Because I
Yeah,
never want to be upside down. You know what I mean? I don't.
sure.
I never want to have like a negative balance. I always want to come out positive. Like, I gave more, which sounds like it's negative, but it's not. I I look at it as, if I had a gratitude bank, right, and I gave as much as I could, I'm in the positive because that gratitude is just going to come back to me. So the more I give, the more I receive. And I have a board of directors that I go by, for spirituality, for finances, for health, personal relationships, professional development. I have a personal board of directors for my life, and I can take what they teach me and then put it out into the world, as my own spin, and just live that type of life.
So literally you're living exactly opposite than you were when
Yep,
this whole situation took place, right? So
absolutely.
you I have a few friends that went into the military, and a few of them went in there because they literally had no other place to go. Like it was kind of their rock
Sounds
bottom,
about
right?
right.
And
Yeah.
so that's all I know. So I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'm speaking from those few people that I know that like really just that was like, well, I don't have it. No one's going to take me in, or I just came out of rehab, or I just did this or that, and this is my only place to go.
Yeah.
So this is going to become home. How do you, being a drill sergeant, because we also have this like idea of what that looks like, right? Like destroying
Right.
someone to their core so that you can build them up, kind of thing. So, so, and I'm just telling you
Right.
what I see, like the movies and the media and all of that, right? So, kind of what our worldview is, the story that we've been told. Okay, so you get a group of guys, and some of them are coming from this place of, I have nothing, you're it, like, here I am, I've got to learn from you. I'm also probably, a little selfish, a little stubborn to get to that place where they are right there.
Of course.
So what is it that you do when they walk in your door? Like, it's your first day with these guys. Like, where do you start? Because you've got to be a leader, right? So you've got to take over that. So where does that come from?
Yep. I had a guy one time come to basic training with a black trash bag. And I found out that he was living under the highway bridge, on the highway. He was living under the bridge because he had got kicked out of his house. He graduated high school and then did nothing with his life. And he was trying to figure it out. But his family was like, dude, you're 18, get the hell out. So this guy's like 20 years old, 21. He's had jobs here and there, but he's battling drug abuse, battling alcohol abuse. Luckily he doesn't have but a couple, maybe like misdemeanors or something like that. Doesn't have a felony, because if you're a felon, you can't join the military. And he comes in and he's just like, dude, this is it for me. Like, if this doesn't work, I'm done. Like, I there's nothing else I can do. I've tried it all, right? I just remember what that feels like, though, because I was at that moment where I'm like, you can't get any lower than sleeping in your car unless you're 6 feet underground. Like, you just, like, if you're living on the street or you're living in your car or something, like, you just cannot get any lower.
I've been there. I'm in this with you right now. So let's listen.
You know what I mean?
I have,
like when my house burned down, the animal control even came and took my dogs. Like, I even lost my dogs.
Wow.
And then I only got one back because they said, because it was a pit bull, oh, it was very vicious and it tried to bite somebody, so we put it down. Aww. And then I had to pay for that, which was kind of another blow. But it was just, it's tough seeing the other side of it, because you're supposed to be the strong leader and you're supposed to let them know, like this is the military and we're in the business of killing people and all that. So day zero, they get off the bus, it's a shock and awe. Get over there on the concrete, get off the bus, screaming, get off the bus, and so the first thing you do is you light them up. You let them know, like, you're going to get crushed. Here in the military, you are going to get crushed. So all the selfishness, all the whiff mentality, all the entitlement mentality, it stops here. And I literally brief them, like, you're not entitled to anything. Your entitlement left at the front gate. Your rights left at the front gate. I own you now. You are mine. I own you. It is my job to tear you apart, rip you apart, break you down, and build you back up in the military image. And if I cannot do that, you will not be here. If you fight me at any moment, you'll be crushed and you'll be put down. You will not be here. I will make sure that you leave in pieces. And I would just let them know, like, in the most vulgar way possible without swearing, like, I will annihilate your soul. You will not have a soul left when I'm done with you. And so for the first 2 weeks, it is just shock and awe, screaming, yelling, shock and awe all the time. Because at about 2 weeks, they're starting to get used to, okay, he's yelling again, right? So now I got to change it up. Plus, you've already pretty much beat the snot out of them anyways, and they're not entitled. They're getting a routine, because it takes about 2 weeks to really start to get into the groove of things. And so they're really starting to get comfortable, and you don't want to get them complacent, so then you change it up. Now you're very strict. So before, you're just screaming and just, oh my God, you messed this up. And you're not even telling them why. You're just stressing them out. That's all you're doing, is just stressing them out. And you're like, you suck. I can't believe you're here. You suck. You need to pack. You need to go home. This is not for you. You suck. And you're just like breaking them down and just killing every moment of self-esteem that they have. Right?
Wow.
So about the third week, your job is to now start to peel back the onion, get them vulnerable, and then build them back up. So the third week, you're like, listen, here's what I need. I need this and this and 1, 2, 3, boom, make it happen, or this is not going to end well for you.
Right.
Make sure that these 3 things happen, or you're going to get smoked. Be like, yes, sir. I'm like, out. And then go. And then you trust that what you've taught them in the past 2 weeks, because now you're starting to show a human side of it. Because all they've seen so far is like yell, scream. Oh my God, I hate this place, and he's super scary. So the third week and the fourth week is really about showing a little human side and talking to them like, this is what you need to do. I know you can do this. Just get done. I know you can do it. Oh, sir, but just do it. I know you can do this. Just go do it. And so you're starting to empower them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth and the sixth week is all about, they should be self-sufficient. They should literally have a couple questions. You're giving them directions. You're applauding them. You're telling them how good they are. Right. And then sometimes, you got to get a little shock and awe back in them. Like, maybe he's soft, maybe he's right. But then sometimes you got to fly off the handle, like even the little things. If you see a lot of complacency starting to happen, now you reel them back in and you just destroy them, put them on their face and just annihilate their souls. And then the seventh and eighth week is literally like, you're one of me now. You've made it. You're one of me, right? You're about to become trainee to airman, I know, or private to whatever the rank's going to be. And you've made it. Like, this is the moment. And some people don't. Out of all of the flights that I had like 10 flights led through basic training, about 50, 60 people each. I had maybe one flight where I didn't get rid of people, recycle them to the next flight over, wash them back a week, like just destroy them to the point where, I mean, I never hurt one, like, oh my God, training, like, oh my God, like go to the hospital because you have like a broken leg,
You just
but
taught him
there
to
were
put Walmart
times,
carts back. That's it.
yeah,
Just
right. Right. There were times where I was like, you know what? You're just not cutting it. You can't do this. This isn't for you. And so you need to go back a week. And so I wash them back a week, or I recycle them to a different flight, or it's not that I can't train them. It's just, this isn't for you. The way that I run and some instructors are different. Some instructors are like, oh no, I'm not going to recycle them. I'm going to train them and I'm going to make it happen. But to what detriment of your flight? And we do the same thing in relationships. People try to change people all the time, and they stick into these bad relationships trying to change them. Oh no, I can change them. I know I can change them. No, you can't.
Right.
Just sometimes you can't.
Are you feeling stuck in your relationship? Do you feel you need more? Whether it be more time, attention, security, gifts, intimacy, or companionship, your partner is likely experiencing something similar. Yet both of you are not sure how to fix it. In Shirley Baldwin's best-selling book, Get What You Want From Your Man, she will show you how to get all of this and more. Get What You Want From Your Man is available nationwide through all major bookstores, Amazon.com, and through her website, www.getwhatyouwantguru.com.
You can influence them to want to change themselves, right? But trying to force change on anyone, that's what got me here. So it got me learning, right? It was trying to force change on people and realizing that the only person I could change was myself. But I could really become a person who, the way I was being influenced, and created change in others.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it happens. Sometimes it's by force, and then sometimes it's by choice.
Yeah.
So either way, there's a growth moment there. And what I've learned over the years is that you definitely have to be growth minded. 100%. You cannot be fixed minded anymore. It's just in today's atmosphere of information at our fingertips, you just cannot do this. You have to be very, very growth and open minded.
I agree. And I think that there's just like a switch though, right? It's almost like something has to happen to create a switch in that, because when you switch and go the other way, then the positivity and growing up, I had a lot of rough, I lived on the streets for a while and that type of thing. And I remember during that time, I was a positive person, even though I was there. But I look back now and I'm like, how did I even do that? How did I even get through that?
Right.
But like when you're going through it, you're just going through it, and it's just survival. And I think that there was a time where I just felt like the victim, and like, what else is there going to be, and what else is going to happen to me? And, and you can always look and find blame and fault in everybody else. But when do you get to be the creator, right? When do we help ourselves up off the floor and we're the ones who are creating our life? And I think that that's like there's a shift in there where, if you were to be explaining this to like one of your guys, where did that shift come in? Does it come in at the end of the, like at the end of the 2 weeks when they're broken down? Does it come when they start to feel empowered because they have a win? You know, like at what part of that transition does that shift take place, in your opinion?
Yeah, it happens as you start getting small wins. You're like, maybe I can do this. And maybe when you start believing in yourself that it's
Mhm.
possible for you. Some people go into a situation knowing that it's not possible for them. It's never going to happen.
Mhm.
Well, why would I start a podcast? I'm just going to listen anyways.
Right.
Why would I start a business? There's no way I can become $1 million entrepreneur. $1 million? No way. We grew up poor. I don't even know what $1 million looks like. I don't even know what $10,000 looks like. How can I be $1 million entrepreneur? It's never going to happen for me. I'm
Okay,
going to live
so
a mediocre life. This is it.
yeah, and so this makes me think about your TED Talk and how the polar bears, and
Yep.
explain focus, because I think that that's so important. Please explain that, and you can do it with that or with whatever, but that's what we're talking about here, right? It's like I can talk about how I can't do something over and over and over, and guess what? I'm going to be right. Either I can or I can't. Either way, I'm right.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that, like psychology, you're like, oh man, it's like you got to have a PhD.
Yes.
It's about the mind. It's how the mind works. And it's this. But it's so in depth. I mean, there's multi facets
Mm.
of psychology, right? The psychology of sales, the psychology of the spoken word, the psychology of business. I mean, there's a ton, right?
Yeah, law of
So,
attraction. Yeah, all that.
yep.
So much stuff.
So with the polar bears, and this is actual fact-based positive psychology research. That's what this is, positive psychology. And what it says is, and they tried this with brown bears, they tried it with leprechauns, they tried it with cars, they tried it with houses, they tried it with everything. But for some reason, polar bears seem to work. So what you do is you have a picture of a polar bear, and I used a polar bear mom and the cub, because everybody goes, oh, like clockwork,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I want. I want them to be drawn to this. And I say, I want you to look at this picture and really stare at it. Look at the picture. Look at the position that the baby's in. Look at the position, how the mom holds that baby. And I'm going to quiz you. Look at this. And I'm pointing out these different features. I say, now close your eyes. Now, what I want you to do is not think about that polar bear. Don't think about the polar bear. Whatever you do, don't think about it. Don't think about the black beady eyes. Don't think about the black nose. Don't think about how the mom was holding the baby. Don't think about how the baby was holding the mom's leg. Don't think about how the white polar bear and the baby polar bear. And don't think about Santa Claus, Coca-Cola bears either. Don't think about that. Don't think about nothing about polar bears. And I do this over and over and over again for about a minute. I'm like, don't think about the polar bear. Whatever you do, don't think about polar bears. Think about anything else but polar bears. Do not picture in your mind polar bears. Nothing but polar bears. And I just keep doing that. And the whole thing is you focus on what you don't want.
Right.
That's what everybody does. Everybody, if you listen to yourself sometimes, you're like, man, I really hope that I achieve this. Or, man, I really hope that this doesn't happen. And it's two ways of thinking about it. You can either search for the positive or search for the negative. And most people go, man, I hope there's no traffic. Oh, man, if there's traffic, I'm going to be so upset. And guess what? There's traffic.
Right.
Because you sought that out. If you said, I really hope that I get home safe, and I really hope that I have a great drive. And then maybe you have a good drive, or maybe there's traffic. But when you're searching for good things, you find the good things. So where focus goes, your energy will flow. And so the world's energy flows towards your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and it could be if you think the world's negative and the world is so corrupt, then it is. If you think the world is so beautiful and we have many, many amazing places for you to go see, parks and camping and lakes and snowboarding, and if you think that the world and you think that people that come into your life are so beautiful and so amazing, then they are. Words have power. And what that exercise shows is that what you focus on will expand.
I
And
love
if
it.
you look, there's the picture of the polar bear on my TEDx talk,
Yeah, I was just
right?
thinking
There's
that.
a picture of the polar bear. And you look at that and you think they're just polar bears, but it's not. You close your eyes like, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. We do this all the time. Somebody wrongs us. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna think about them. I'm not wasting another time on that person. I can't believe that they did this to me. And then what do? You consistently focus on me. Like, I'm gonna look at their social media. I can't believe they did this to me. You know what? Screw them. I'm never gonna talk to them ever again. And then you're checking their Facebook and you're checking their house and you drive by their place or you look at their friends.
Yeah.
You look at their friends. Who's hanging out with them? I want to see who's hanging out with them. Why would they hang out with them? They're such a bad person.
It's so funny. I have a part of my book that I talk about this as it pertains to a relationship. And that's that we find evidence in whatever we're searching for. So if we want to like think that our husband's annoying or our wife's annoying, we could find a million little things that they do all day long that annoy us. But if we think that they're the most amazing things in the world, everything they do, that even the things that would be annoying normally would be cute and funny or, attractive. So it really is true. Like whatever we search for, we can find evidence in. And so
that's called cognitive bias.
Yeah. So everyone listening today, they want to know, how do I change my mental mindset on how do I become positive? Give us one thing of advice that people can start today to start transforming this.
Count 3 blessings a day. Every single day. Count 3 blessings a day. You can put it on social media. You can say blessing number 1 in the morning, blessing 2 in the afternoon, blessing number 3 in the evening or at night, or you can just do all 3 at night. I do gratitude challenges all the time. And what happens is you do a 66-day gratitude challenge. 66-day gratitude challenge. And it's amazing what people do. They got pictures that they're creating and collages and videos. And it's just amazing to see them create this gratitude that they didn't know before. And they start off with, I'm thankful for my house and I'm thankful for my spouses, or I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for the food. And all this like petty stuff, right?
Right.
By day 20, day 30, they're like, I had a great day at work because Bob brought us coffee and donuts. And, I just really enjoyed it because I didn't get to eat breakfast this morning. I was running late and I didn't get to eat breakfast, and just that little thing. And so they're thinking about those, I don't know, the bougie stuff, right? In the beginning,
Right.
They're like, oh my God, like I couldn't do anything without my phone. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Halfway through, they're starting to figure out it's those moments. It's those little things. Someone says thank you, you're like, that meant the world to me. Wow. Or, your child who cannot draw at all because they're 3 years old scribbles on a paper and you think it's the most beautiful thing ever.
Yes.
It's not that you care about the drawing. It's the fact that you care about that relationship.
Right. And don't you feel like, so I do this too. And I usually have them start with writing it in the morning, because when you're sleeping, there's not much to be grateful for. And so it usually comes from the day before. And so when you get into this momentum, you're starting to look every day at what you're going to write the next day. And therefore you're searching for evidence of positivity and things to be grateful for. And that's right.
100%.
Like you kind of run out of the same things. Like I'll tell my clients, you can't write the same thing every day.
Right.
You have to think of 3, I always do 10, but 3 is such a good number too. But I'm like, you have to think of new things every single day. So in their mind, they're like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to write that down tomorrow. I'm gonna have to chronicle it. So I should start looking for positive things. And then all of a sudden I hear, oh my gosh, since I started looking for it, there's so many positive things that have come. My life's been way more positive. And they think it's like a coincidence, or, I'm like, no, all those things were there already. You're just searching for them now. You're looking for
100%.
them.
Nailed it. Yeah. Again, where focus goes, energy flows. You ever see somebody, they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get this car. And I love this new car. It's going to be amazing. And then they see it everywhere. They're like, I see this car everywhere.
Yes. Happens.
Because you didn't notice it before, because you weren't focused on that before. Now you're focused on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my sister, I can't even remember what car she was looking at, but she's like, well, I was looking at this car and then all of a sudden I saw that everyone had one, so I didn't get one. I'm like, everyone didn't go out that day and buy that car. Like you're noticing it because
Trust me,
you're
it's been
looking
there.
for it. Yeah. All those people had that car before this happened. So
Yeah.
it is kind of funny.
Trust me, it's been there.
Yeah. So that's a great takeaway. Tell me this again, where you focus.
Where focus goes,
Focus goes.
Energy flows.
Energy flows. Okay. Where focus go, energy flows. I love that. Okay. So tell me, I asked this question for all of my guests, and that is there anything that you specifically would go back and do over, or that you regret in your life?
No, never. The only reason why is because first of all, living in regret is a terrible place to live. Most people, what they do is they plant their mailbox and they plant their address and they put a stake in the ground and they say, this is where I'm living. I'm living in regret. I'm living in unhappiness. I'm living in negativity. This is my life. I can never get any better. I've hit my pinnacle. I've hit my peak. This is all I got. This is what God gave me. And now my life sucks and it's never going to change. And they plant their mailbox on this moment and they live there. I never want to do that. I never want to have a moment of regret. Am I not happy about some of my actions and some of the moments? Absolutely. Have those moments defined me? Absolutely. So it's hard for me to say, oh man, I wish this didn't happen. I wish this didn't happen, because those are life defining moments. I could never go back in time and just change something. I couldn't go back to, well, maybe there was this old girlfriend, or wow, maybe there's this friend that I wronged, or oh, maybe that house that I was living in, maybe it shouldn't have burned down, or maybe I should have taken that job, or maybe I shouldn't have joined the military. Maybe I should, there's a lot of shoulds,
right.
And when you should all over everything, people are like, you should do this and I should do this. Like when you should all over things, you just live a life of regret and you live in a life of wonder. Instead of experiencing everything that your life has to offer, you're counting other people's blessings. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have done that. You're counting other people's blessings. You're counting things that aren't even yours. Count your blessings, because when you're counting other people's blessings, you're missing your own blessings in your own life. Nobody has the blessings that you have. You can be grateful for your kids, so can millions of other people, but your kids don't act like their kids. Your kids act like your kids, right? Your life is your life. So it's a once in a lifetime. It's a once in a lifetime. Your house, your life, it's a once in a lifetime, So, if you say, well, my kid's not as smart as that other kid, but they are in some ways.
Yeah.
There are in another way. They might be a great bicycle rider, but they can't roller skate. Okay. They might be really good at math, but can't read. Capitalize on their strengths. Find the good, right? We always want to focus on the negative, and it doesn't get us anywhere. If you want to count negatives, you're going to get more negatives. If you want to count positives, you're going to get a lot of positives. So the negatives will always be there. Count the positives.
I love it. I love that answer so much. I feel like you're just living inside my head. Like everything that I want to be or try to be or am, that's it. And I think this has been the best, one of my most favorite episodes, because I feel like we're like connecting here on this. So thank you so much for doing this and for being a guest. And so every time I spend time with you, you thoroughly impact me. And I'm sure that people are going to be impacted by this. So let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website at The Success Core. It's right up above me. thesuccesscore.com. And you can check out all the videos, the TEDx talk. I've got speaker guides there if you want to become a speaker. I've got podcast marketing guides. I've got all kinds of tips and knowledge and all kinds of stuff there for you. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. Come check me out. I just want to have conversations with you and, see what positive, things we can build together. And
I promise you, he shows up like this all the time.
All the time.
This is who you get every time you interact with him. So thank you so much, Sean. You're the best. And I'm so grateful that you were here with me today.
pumped that we got to do this show. This is so awesome.
Thanks so much for listening to the Get What You Want podcast. If you loved it, please subscribe, share it with others, and leave me a review on Apple Podcast. You can also visit me on my website at www.getwhatyouwantguru.com. Would love to hear from you. Now go create.